If you're over 65, today's conversation is especially for you. Because while many people talk about retirement, travel, downsizing, or hobbies in later life, very few speak honestly about what it's like to grow older alone. Not lonely necessarily, just living day to day in a space that used to hold more voices, more movement, more shared moments. And here's the truth. After 60, living alone can be empowering, peaceful, even liberating. But, and this is important, it can also bring quiet struggles that no one prepares you for, not even your closest friends. It's not something you often read in books or hear on the news, but you feel it in the stillness, in the space between appointments, in the moments you wish someone would just say your name. Today, I want to share with you 7 surprising truths that many older adults discover about living alone, but often too late, when they're already in the thick of it. These aren't meant to scare or sadden you. They're here to open a door to clarity, to connection, and maybe even to a little healing. So I invite you to stay with me until the very end, because truth number 7, it's something many people never talk about out loud, but almost every older adult feels in their heart. And if you've ever looked around your quiet home and thought, is this really what these years are supposed to feel like? Then you're in the right place. You are not alone, and your story still matters deeply. Let's begin. Let me tell you about Marjorie. She's 74 now, a retired librarian, soft-spoken, fiercely independent, always kept her tea tins in alphabetical order. When her husband Robert passed away 9 years ago, after 4 decades together, Marjorie made a quiet decision. She would stay in the house they built together, the one with the bay window she loved, the creaky steps, the garden where their grandchildren once ran barefoot. Her kids offered to move her closer. Friends suggested assisted living, but she smiled and said, "I'm fine. I have my books, I have my routines, I like my peace." And for a while, she was fine. She planted new roses each spring, took long walks to the post office, even joined a book club, though she never liked digital reading. But slowly, quietly, something began to shift. The silence in her home got louder. Meals turned into toast or tea. Whole days would pass with no one saying her name out loud. Her confidence in going out alone, especially after dark, began to fade. She never told anyone, but there were nights she turned on the TV just to hear another voice. Not to watch, just to feel human sound in the room. It wasn't grief anymore. Not exactly. It was something softer, but heavier in a way. A kind of invisibility. One afternoon while reorganizing the cupboard, not out of need but restlessness, she paused, looked at her hands and whispered aloud, "No one tells you this part." That moment stuck with her. And that's why I'm telling you Marjorie's story today. Because she's not alone. And if you've ever felt like her, even for a moment, then neither are you. Her story isn't tragic, it's honest. And out of her honesty came insight, truths she never expected, but learned the hard way. And now she shares them, 7 of them to be exact. Let's explore them, one by one. These are the truths Marjorie never read in a pamphlet or heard from her doctor. But she felt every one of them, and eventually she gave them names. Let's walk through each of these 7 truths, not with fear, but with the kind of honesty that heals. Truth number 1. The silence is deeper than you expect, and it echoes. At first, the quiet feels peaceful, a break from years of noise. But over time, silence can stretch and start to sound like absence. Marjorie found that she missed the simple things. Footsteps in the hall, a kettle whistling for 2, someone clearing their throat in the next room. Loneliness doesn't always roar. Sometimes it whispers. And those whispers, they can weigh heavily on the heart. Truth number 2, your house feels bigger, but you feel smaller. A space meant for 2 or more can start to feel cavernous when you're alone. Marjorie used to feel pride in keeping the home in order. Now, she admits, some rooms went untouched for weeks. The guest towels gathered dust. She felt less like a homeowner and more like a quiet guest in her own story. Truth number 3, you stop cooking real meals, and then you start skipping them. It wasn't immediate, but slowly dinners became crackers and cheese. Why cook for one? Why dirty a pan? She told herself it was convenience, but deep down, she missed the ritual, the care, the conversation around the table. Nutrition and appetite go hand in hand with emotional connection. Without it, both begin to slip. Before we go further, my dear seniors, if this conversation has touched you, let me know by tapping the like button. Also, subscribe to this channel, Elderly Person Diary. It tells me today's topic matters to you or someone close to you. Your subscription plants a seed in this garden of wisdom. With your support, we'll keep turning pages of time together. Now, back to what really matters. Truth number 4. Doctors start talking to you differently, like you're alone and fragile. This one surprised her. She noticed the way her physician began speaking more slowly, gently, and always with a question behind the question. Do you have someone at home? Do you feel safe on your own? She appreciated the concern, but part of her missed being seen as capable, as vibrant, not just vulnerable. Truth number 5, you think you'll always want peace and quiet, until you get too much of it. Peace is beautiful, but we are wired for connection. Marjorie realized she didn't just want background noise. She wanted a voice answering hers. Even the introverts among us, she learned, still crave companionship. Not constantly, but authentically. Truth number 6, you miss being touched in small human ways. This was the hardest one to admit. Marjorie realized she hadn't been hugged in weeks, maybe longer. No hand on her back, no brush of a shoulder, just the feel of her own cardigan, pulled close on a chilly morning. We often forget, human touch is not a luxury, it's a need. Truth number 7, the loneliness doesn't kill you, but it can weaken your spirit. This was the deepest truth. Marjorie still got up, still watered the plants, still sent birthday cards, but the spark had dimmed, not from sadness exactly, but from absence. The absence of being seen, of being needed, of being heard without asking. She realized, I don't need someone here all the time. I just need to know I still matter to someone. And that, dear listener, is a truth many elders carry, but say aloud only in quiet moments or not at all. So, what do we do with these truths? Because the goal isn't to sit in sadness, it's to move forward with awareness, strength, and small acts of care, both for ourselves and for one another. Marjorie eventually realized living alone didn't have to mean living disconnected. She couldn't change the structure of her life overnight, but she could choose how she showed up inside it. Here are some gentle, practical things you, or someone you love, can do when living alone after 60. Number 1, make connection a ritual, not a random event. Don't wait for the phone to ring. Set a standing weekly call with a friend or family member. Send a letter. Start a memory journal and mail it to your grandchild. Even a scheduled coffee with a neighbor once a month can soften the ache of isolation. Number 2, cook for yourself. Like you're a guest in your own home. Light a candle. Set the table. Even for one, especially for one. You deserve nourishment that feels thoughtful, not just quick and easy. Marjorie started calling them grace meals, small plates made with love. Number 3, join or create a circle, big or small. Look for local book clubs, walking groups, or senior centers. And if there isn't one nearby, don't be afraid to start one. You'd be surprised how many others are also waiting for someone else to begin. Number 4, let your doctor know you live alone and be honest. That's not a weakness, it's a safety net. Good physicians can connect you with resources, support groups, or even in-home care options if needed. Your independence matters, so does your well-being. Number 5, don't underestimate the power of presence, even digital ones. Yes, screens aren't the same as people, but video chats, voice messages, even watching meaningful YouTube content like this, it all creates emotional resonance. Marjorie joined a virtual tea club for seniors, and she says it changed everything. Number 6, be gentle with yourself on the hard days. They will come. When they do, light your favorite candle, open the window, play music from your youth, and say to yourself what Marjorie says, I am still here, and I am still becoming. And lastly, ask for touch without shame. A hug, a hand on yours, a hair trim. It's okay to say, would you mind giving me a hug? Human warmth is not childish or needy. It's part of being alive. These aren't big, flashy fixes. They're gentle, human-sized steps toward a life that feels connected, meaningful, and lived with grace, even when it's quiet. And that is more than enough. If no one has told you this recently, let me be the one to say it. You are not invisible. You are not forgotten. And your life still holds immeasurable value. Living alone after 60 can feel like walking a path with fewer signposts, fewer voices beside you, and fewer hands reaching back. But here's what Marjorie and so many others have discovered. These years, they are not the end of your story. They are the deep chapters, the ones filled with reflection, courage, and unexpected wisdom. You are not less because you live alone. You are not broken because you sometimes feel lonely. You are simply human and still growing, still reaching, still needed in this world. There are others just like you, sitting in kitchens, sipping their evening tea, wondering if anyone else feels what they feel. You are not alone in that feeling, and by sharing stories, by naming what others won't, we shine a gentle light into that quiet space. You are part of a great tapestry, woven from resilience, softness, laughter, and truth. Even now, especially now, you are shaping the world just by being in it. So take heart, take a breath, and take the next day as it comes. Not with fear, but with the quiet strength you've earned simply by living. You have made it this far, and you are still becoming. And that, dear friend, is something to be deeply proud of. If this message touched something in your heart today, I hope you'll stay connected with us here at Elderly Person Diary. This is more than just a YouTube channel. It's a quiet, caring corner of the internet where your stories matter, and where being older is seen as something strong, not silent. If you haven't already, please like this video and subscribe. Not just so you don't miss the next video, but because every time you show up, it tells others that they are not alone either. And if you feel comfortable, I invite you to share a piece of your story in the comments. What truth have you learned about living alone? What surprised you the most after turning 60? Whether it's one sentence or one memory, someone out there might need to read your words today more than ever. And if you know someone, a parent, a neighbor, a dear friend, who's walking this path too, consider sending them this video as a quiet gesture of care. Sometimes just knowing someone understands can make all the difference. Thank you truly for spending this time with me. Until next time, take care of your heart, be gentle with your days, and remember your story is not over. In fact, it's still being beautifully written. See you soon.